Hi Algebra 2 students, and welcome to your first video and Edpuzzle. We are going to be reviewing expressions and linear equations. So first, let's talk about what mathematicians do. So mathematicians notice patterns, describe, and generalize patterns. So before we get started, throughout the year I'll explain a lot about why I think just general knowledge and math matter and the impact it has in our society. But I want you all to remember when am I ever going to have to use this saying, in my opinion, is somewhat wrong. We're not all going to do like calculus and plus on a regular basis. I don't even, and we all do in a way, but we don't. And I teach math. But Algebra 2 is actually where we will analyze graphs, talk about interest and finances. Something really important is we're going to be questioning statistics, especially right now in our current political climate. We're going to talk about why that's so important, why we should know and how to analyze data and information, and really get to know and understand what a variable is and why that matters. So some of these skills that I've talked about, and there's more, are really just building block concepts in the grand scheme of things. And not to mention, it is so good for your brain. This is a workout that your brain needs to get smarter. So if you don't try anything that challenges you and really makes you think, your brain function will not improve. So anyway, I could go on, but that's all for now. And I'll keep talking more about why I think just knowledge matters. So let's get to math. So here it says, which one doesn't belong, and explain your reasoning. So let's think about it. We've got 3x plus 2, 5x plus 7x minus 4, 3 times the quantity x minus 5, and 5x minus 15 is equal to 20. Which one do you think doesn't belong? So it says here, look back at the warm-up problem. 3 of the boxes contain an expression. The other box contains an equation. Equations and expressions may look similar, but there is an important difference. Which of the boxes in the warm-up contains an equation? Explain how you think an equation is different from an expression. So, if you look, box D contains an equation, but why? It is because it is the only box with an equal sign. Okay, well, let's get to the next page. So it says, each expression in the warm-up contains a variable. X is often used, but other letters are okay too. Evaluating an expression means replacing the x with a number and then using the order of operations to get your answer. So here, evaluate the expression. We've got 5x plus 7x minus 4 when x equals 1, x equals 3, 0, and 10. So the way I like to set these up, and everybody might have their own way a little bit, but I like to do x equals 1, x equals negative 3, kind of just set it up. And then I'll take the expression and plug in my variable for x. So you could do these one at a time. Sometimes I go through and write them all out. But we know 5 times 1 is 5. 7 times 1 is 7, and we're minusing 4. So that is equal to 8. Then we've got 5 times negative 3 plus 7 times negative 3 minus 4. Well, 5 times negative 3 is negative 15, plus 7 times negative 3 is negative 21, minus 4, so that gives us negative 40. Then we have 5 times 0, plus 7 times 0, minus 4. So that's just 0 and 0, minus 4, so that'd be minus 4. And then 5 times 10, plus 7 times 10, minus 4. Well, 5 times 10 is 50, plus 7 times 10 is 70, minus 4 gives us 116. All right, so the next question says evaluate the expression 12x minus 4 when x equals 1, negative 3, 0, and 10. Then it says compare your answers to part A. What do you notice and explain why you think this is true? All right, well, let's see. So I'm going to write out my x equals again, just so I've got it to the side and I know which one I'm doing. And then another way you could write it out, sometimes I do it this way too, where I'll go through and plug in each one before I get started with my calculator. So we've got 12 times 1 minus 4. Well, we know that that's 8. Make a better 8. Then 12 times negative 3 minus 4 gives us negative 40. Oh, weird. Same as above. 12 times 0, well, that's 0 minus 4 gives us negative 4. And 12 times 10 minus 4, interesting. So they were the exact same answers as above. Explain, or what do you notice, and then explain why you think that that's true. So what you should notice is that these are the same answers as in part A. They are the same answer. Or same answers, right? But why? Because 5x plus 7x, like what we had up here, 5x plus 7x is the same thing as 12x. Because we combined, 12x, not 7x. Fix that. Right? Because we combined the like terms. So they are the same. All right. So for part C, it says if you simplify 5x plus 7x minus 4, you get 12x minus 4. A simplified expression is equivalent, which means the same as, the first expression, but it looks easier. There are many different algebra properties that allow you to simplify. So here it says simplify 3 times the quantity x minus 5. So we're going to use something here called the distributive property. There we go, sorry. Okay, so I'm going to start distributing. I'm going to take 3 times x, which is 3x, and then 3 times, remember that's a negative 5, so minus 15. And that's my answer. And the last question on this page here says solve the equation 5x minus 15 equals 20. We can show you your work or write a sentence to explain. I'll do both so you can see what it looks like if I were to write a sentence. So I have 5x minus 15 is equal to 20. You can make your t if you'd like to. And I'm going to start with adding 15 to each side, or put 15 to each side. All right, so then that gives me 5x is equal to 35. Then I will divide 5 by each side. So divide by 5. So x is equal to 35 divided by 5 is 7. All right, so in our important ideas box, I want you guys to write this down, and we're going to add in some examples here. So if you want to pause and write down, go ahead. Otherwise, you can write as we go and pause as you need to. So an expression is a combination of variables, numbers, and operations. So that was a big idea in this section here. And an example of an expression could be anything like 3 or 5x or 5x plus 3, okay? But an equation was 2 expressions with an equal sign. So we would have to write something like 5x plus 3 equals 18. We got to have that equal sign. Some other words we just talked about. So you evaluate an expression by substituting a number for each variable and performing the operations. So an example of that would be, let's say we had 5x plus 3 when x equals 2. So I'll plug in the 2. So 5 times 2 is 10 plus 3 is 13. All right, another word here, simplifying an expression means using algebra properties to rewrite it in an equivalent form. So an example of that would be, let's say we had 7x minus 3x plus 4. We could rewrite that by combining 7x minus 3x, so that would become 4x plus 4. And then the last piece here, solving an equation means finding the value or values of the variable that makes the equation true. So we just solved an equation. Let's say we had 5x plus 3 equals 18. And we subtract 3 on each side. Then I'll divide by 5, so x is equal to 3. Okay, so the last thing that you have to do here is to check for understanding. You're going to evaluate x squared minus 4 when x is equal to negative 3, simplify, and solve. And then you're done with this section. Thanks!